Hello everybody, I'm Xtony, and today I wanted to talk to you about a weapon that I think changes up one of the most boring classes in Team Fortress 2 and makes them a little bit more bearable to play. I'm talking of course about the heavy weapons guy. And before I offend any of you heavy weapons mains, I guess, I don't really hate the heavy, I just don't enjoy playing him. He's not very fun. At his core, he's a very boring class with only one way to play him. I mean, yes, you could use a shotgun and the killing gloves of boxing, but that's not very effective. You don't really get much done with that, and heavy at its core does one thing, and that is hold down his minigun. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think that the Huo-Long heater really gives the heavy a different way to play. It might not be a big change, but I think it's enough of a change for him to interest me into playing him, and it does give the heavy a bit of a different playstyle, which the heavy doesn't really have a lot of. While other classes like the Demo Man has Demo Knight, Medic can go Battle Medic, there's a lot of variety in other classes in Team Fortress 2, while the heavy doesn't really have anything. His guns are just, this one is faster, this one is better at shooting people harder, but the Huo-Long heater has some interesting stats to it. So the first thing to discuss is that it does do minus 10% damage. This means that it'll only be dealing about 410 to 480 damage per second at close ranges. The normal minigun at that range would be dealing about 500, so it's not a huge loss in damage. What really makes it interesting is its special ability, which is creating a ring of fire around the player while you're spun up. So the minute you spin up your minigun, or you spin up your Huo-Long heater, you'll create a ring of fire around you that'll pulse every 0.5 seconds. So that means every half second you're putting out a ring of fire. This ring of fire's main primary purpose is to deny people from getting close to the heavy, and it doesn't really do much. It's kind of bad in its current state because the ring of fire is completely on the floor, so if a spy jumps over it, he can backstab you, or he can just walk through it and backstab you, and that's not a huge deterrent to spies. The biggest thing would be the afterburn, which actually lasts quite a while, but that's not what I like it for. The thing I like it for is its other special ability, which is an extra 25% damage against burning players. This means that that minus 10% damage is completely overridden, and the Huo-Long heater will be doing as much damage, or close to as much damage, as the brass beast. It'll be doing a little bit less, but that amount is almost negligible, and you'll still have the spin up speed and the movement speed of the normal minigun, which I think is a great trade-off because the brass beast makes you move at a snail's pace, and this, it's just like the normal minigun. And doing that, this means that if you have a pyro on your team who's spamming the scorch shot down a hallway, and yes, I realize this is another situational weapon. I'm talking about you're in a certain situation where you have a teammate helping you, or you're putting yourself in a different situation than you would normally be. But if you're in some sort of situation where people are on fire, say you have a friend in the server who's spamming scorch shots down Barn Blitz's big choke point there in that building. If they're spamming down there and you're just firing your minigun, you're doing brass beast damage almost down that hallway. Or alternatively, you could take more of a flanking route. Normally the Tomislav is the flanking heavy's weapon of choice, but the Huo-Long heater could almost be just as good in the right situation. There we go, we're using that word again, situation. But say, once again, we're on Barn Blitz, and you jump up off of the same rafter in that same building, jump off of there, rev up in the air, and by the time the weapon is revved up, the fire is coming out. So land in a group of people, maybe you can get a few. It'd definitely scare the crap out of me if I was playing, but just a heavy descending from the rafters onto me. I think this weapon does have a bit of interesting, pizzazz to it that the other miniguns just don't give you. While your normal minigun might just have you standing there shooting, this one has like fire coming out of you. It really makes you feel like this Russian giant, and it's just kind of cool. The weapon looks cool, it's got dragon head, and I really like this weapon. Now it does flounder in a lot of situations, like a situation where ammo is scarce. This thing is just gonna chew through it because it consumes ammo while you're spun up. Now with your normal minigun, they don't consume ammo at all while you're spun up. You can spin up indefinitely, just stand there in a corner on Dust Bowl, wait for someone to come around the corner, get your kill, you feel really good about yourself because you waited there for 20 minutes. Good for you. But with this thing, it consumes ammo while you're spun up. So a rate of forced ammo per second, you're going to be consuming ammo to create that fire ring around you. Now, it used to be a lot worse, and this thing used to just chew through ammo. It used to be like 6, I think, but that used to be insane. You had to pretty much be on a dispenser, but now that it's only 4, might add that this is 4 alongside the ammo being consumed by shooting. But even then, as long as you have some good ammo management skills and you look down every now and then, or you're killing people and just walking over their corpses, they're burning decrepit corpses, you'll be picking up the ammo and you'll be completely fine with that whole situation. And this, I don't see that as a huge downside to this weapon because I'm not standing around spun up all the time. I like to be more mobile with my heavy, more of a flanking heavy. I can't stand the playstyle where you just sit on the cart. I mean, this weapon is great for sitting on the cart if that's what you want to do, because that cart will keep on feeding you ammo. You will never have to unrev. If any spy tries getting close to you, they're going to be lit on fire. And one thing to mention about the fire that this weapon does is that it'll actually deal more damage than the flamethrower with afterburn. This is because the afterburn duration from this weapon is 10 seconds, so it'll be dealing a total of 80 damage over the course of the afterburn. I know afterburn isn't a huge way of killing people in this game, but it's a nice little thing to note, and I don't know if that's like intentional that this does more damage than the afterburn than a flamethrower does, or any of the pyro's weapons for that matter, but I think that's a little interesting tidbit. So that's all I really have to say today. I just kind of wanted to talk about this weapon. I've been using it lately. It's been a lot of fun, and I also wanted to say thank you for all the people who have come to this channel lately. I just kind of wanted to put a small thing in here. You're all awesome, and yeah, have a great day.